I'm your host, the guy that lifts barbell plates, eats T-bone steaks, and still has a demeanor that's sweeter than a chocolate cake, John Heinis, giving you the latest and greatest in Hudson County views. So, now let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the Mile Square City. Obviously, they had this water main break yesterday by a private contractor that they haven't ID'd yet, and they've been working on it overnight. That's Viola Water, the water service provider, and there are water buffaloes in 7 different locations. City Hall and other municipal buildings, along with the public schools and the private schools too, are closed today. So we're going to give you the latest updates on that, which has actually had a little bit of an impact in Jersey City and Weehawken as well. So certainly that's a big deal. Also out of the Mile Square City, in the 5th Ward Council race, we have a challenger. That's Liz Urecho. And she's somebody that has a cannabis group that she describes as a responsible cannabis group that is challenging one of the dispensary licenses. She has announced that she's going to challenge incumbent Phil Cohen, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then also in South Hudson, we're going to talk a little bit what's going on with 1888 Studios. This is a very ambitious project, an estimated total cost of $925 million. You may remember that at the last meeting, that City Council opted to postpone the vote because they wanted to look at all the details, go through all the paperwork thoroughly. So we're going to talk a little about that. We also have an interesting settlement out of the Peninsula City. You guys, of course, remember Stacy Purcella and this sexting lawsuit. Well, that and another case that she had dating back to 2014 have been settled for a total of $450,000. We're going to give you all the details there. And today I have a guest from the North Jersey Democratic Socialists of America. That's their treasurer, Julia Tache. So we're going to have her right after this word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Jersey City Ford, certified parts and service located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. I'm your host, John Heinis, and as I just mentioned a few moments ago, today I'm joined with Julia Tache, who's the treasurer of the North Jersey Democratic Socialists of America, and she's also the media and communications coordinator for the Right to Counsel campaign. Julia, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Great to be here.
All right, excellent. So let's start at the beginning. So when you guys launched this, I guess that was maybe about 7 months ago, and there was initially looking at possibly a ballot referendum for November, and obviously that wasn't a viable option. But you guys have still been lobbying your council representatives and the administration, and I know you've been going door to door. So just tell me, what's the ultimate goal with this campaign right now?
Sure thing. So I guess I can get started with the sort of context of why we're doing this campaign. So we often talk about the fact that there is an eviction crisis happening right now, not just in Jersey City, but all across the country in light of the pandemic. But the truth is that the eviction crisis has been going on for much longer than that. So back in 2018 in Hudson County, there were 45 evictions filed per day alone. And that, adds up to about 14,000 over the course of the year. So that was just pre-pandemic. Now we have this backlog of evictions in Hudson County and in the rest of Jersey, and we still have yet to see what's going to happen as a result of that. And the issue is that tenants are widely unprotected when it comes to cases of eviction court, housing court more generally. So on average, a tenant is represented about 3% of the time, whereas landlords have representation about 80 to 90% of the time in housing court. So
Is that a nationwide?
when we first were deciding, yes, it's a nationwide. So when we were initially deciding on the direction that we wanted to go with this campaign, we went back and forth between doing an ordinance or having a ballot initiative. And we decided to go with the ordinance route first, work with council members that we felt would be sympathetic to the cause, who historically have stood up for housing justice in Jersey City, and getting that passed with some sort of funding mechanism to ensure that the program would be fully funded so we could guarantee free legal representation for all tenants in housing court in the city.
Okay, very good. So as you probably know, about a month ago, give or take, my councilman, actually, Ward D Councilman Youssef Soleil, was on here, and he mentioned that he was looking at getting a rent control ordinance up there. And obviously, it's not right to council, but there's certainly some sort of collaboration and relationship. So has he been someone that you've talked to about this initiative?
Yes, he is one of the people that we have been in contact with. I will say that we have mostly been working as of right now with Councilman Solomon and Councilman Gilmore. And we hope to sort of expand that coalition as we continue to, as we ramp up for the actual presentation of the ordinance. And, want to acknowledge the amazing work that Youssef has been doing in terms of fighting for tenants' rights all across Jersey City, especially in light of a lot of the issues that we've been seeing. Courtside tenants coming to every single council meeting, talking about how rent control, even though there's an ordinance on the books, it's not being properly enforced. The way that you get stuff like that properly enforced is by passing something like right to counsel and having people have advocates for them in court.
Gotcha. So now when we're talking about this right to counsel ordinance, first of all, just what are the parameters? What would you like to see in there before it gets introduced on first reading?
Sure. So as I mentioned before, we envision this to be a universal program. And that's really important for us because universal programs do not preclude anybody from being able to access the services, and therefore anyone can have access to a lawyer. That includes people of all income levels, that includes undocumented people as well. Because what happens when you start to have things like income thresholds and other barriers, it becomes a kind of bureaucratic nightmare. It becomes very expensive, and it restricts people from being able to access these services that are necessary. So we have the universal aspect of it. We also would like to establish a Office of Right to Counsel within the city government. We think that that'll help with enforcement and ensuring that people have easy access to lawyers that are staffed both directly by the city as well as teaming up with designated providers who can provide the services as well.
Now, just in casual conversations I've had on this topic with people that work within the city, there seems to be some belief that there's no need for this right to counsel because there's already this partnership with the Waterfront Commission. So why do you think that is not enough for what you guys are aiming to do here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to start by saying that I think that the work that the Waterfront Project does is incredible, and they've been big supporters of our work. But the fact of the matter is that they are not funded and do not have the resources to meet the full need of tenants in Jersey City. So we see this as something we see their work as sort of supplementing the more universal program that we would hope to establish through this program, through the office as well as through the ordinance.
Okay.
And then also we have the Office of Landlord Tenant Relations. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
There's a bit of a delay. Sorry. I was going to say that there also exists an Office of Landlord-Tenant Relations in Jersey City, which we have also seen the sort of shortfalls of its ability to enforce things like Rent Ordinance 260. That is the task that their office has in place, and yet we see companies like Equity Residential, for example, just sort of taking advantage of tenants, not expecting them to come together the way that Portside 100 other buildings in this city have come together to just say that it's not right. There was no eviction that was filed. I mean, no, sorry, exemption that was filed. Therefore, there's no reason why we should be incurring these excessive and illegal rent hikes.
Gotcha. All right, Julia, don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere either. We're just going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Heinis, and I am still with the treasurer of the North Jersey Democratic Socialists of America, Julia Tache. All right, so now there's right to counsel in other parts of the country, like right across the river in New York City, also in Baltimore, and I believe that there's something similar in even Union City. So what do you think is the best model for Jersey City to be trying to emulate here?
That's a great question. So I would like to say that the right to counsel in other cities, first of all, has had a lot of positive impacts. So in New York City, for instance, we've seen evictions go down by about 30%. We see that about 75% of tenants elect to have a lawyer in court, which is a huge difference from 3% previously. So we know that these policies work. Unfortunately, what we have noticed from across the country is that a lot of times the funding is insufficient or staffing is insufficient, and there ends up being an overwhelming amount of caseloads, or there's an income requirement, something that would prevent people from being able to access the services. I think that what we have found is that the Boulder's actually right to counsel is one of the most comprehensive, but we did model a lot of what we did off of New York's, with the caveats of changing it to be a universal program, and then also changing the funding mechanism in a way where we would not necessarily have to be reliant on city appropriations. From the budget, we would find a new novel way of funding this, which will be announced more formally, within the near future. But essentially, we want to make sure that the burden of the cost of this program falls on developers, falls on the folks that are the ones responsible for the housing crisis, and is not felt by everyday working class taxpayers and even homeowners in the city who are already feeling the burden of overdevelopment, feeling the burden of high taxes. We want to make sure that it's funded by people who are responsible for essentially the mess that we find ourselves in right now.
Do you have any estimate of what this may cost annually?
We do. I am unsure if we are, as of right now, sharing that publicly. However, we will be announcing the sort of full scope of the program and the ordinance, which is currently in draft form, within, I would say, the next few weeks. We have our council sponsors that will be present for that. So hopefully that question gets answered at that time.
All right, fair enough. Now, obviously, if you're going to put up an ordinance, you're going to need 5 votes at least to get it through, of course. So how confident are you that you are going to have the support of the majority of the council on this?
I am hopeful that the council, or at least 5 members of the council, make the decision to stand with tenants in the city, because we have seen over and over again decisions made by this city council and other city councils previously in Jersey City that have been more on the side of corporate landlords, large development companies, with the intention of overdeveloping the city, not making considerations for the affordable housing stock, which is also a huge issue. So this is really a chance for the council to take a stand and say, we do stand with tenants who make up 70% of the city. We do want to create a Jersey City that's livable, that's affordable for all. So I think that this is going to be a really important litmus test for what the priorities of our council is.
Okay. Now, obviously, as we just mentioned, I mean, this is ultimately going to come down to the council, but if you had any communication, any dialogue with the mayor's office or anyone else from the administration?
As of right now, not to my knowledge. We've been mostly working with our council sponsors.
All right, simple enough. So any other, actually, something that I wanted to bring up was I noticed that maybe about a week ago, maybe 2, you guys had a modest fundraising drive going. So I'm just wondering what those funds would have been used for.
Sure thing. So we have some support from our local DSA chapter, but it takes quite a bit to run a campaign like this. We have costs like printing, we have event costs, and just other logistical things like running our website, for example. That's Squarespace subscription. So yeah, just the basic sort of logistics of running everything. In terms of folks who are working on the campaign, it's 100% volunteer based. People have been dedicating their time and efforts on their own to come out and support this, which I think has been amazing to see.
Okay, great. So any closing thoughts on this topic before we let you go today, Julia?
Sure thing. So if you don't mind, we have a few big events that are going to be coming up. So we have a fundraising concert that's going to be at 902 Brewing Company at 6:30 p.m. on March 10th. We, as we said, are raising money for campaign costs. We also have, we're asking folks to come out to council meetings as well as to stand in solidarity with Portside. So the next big turnout for that is going to be the March 23rd council meeting. And then prior to that, we've got canvases, phone banks, and our petition, which anyone can sign. You don't have to live in Jersey City to sign it, as ways to get involved and to help us get this passed. So our website is rtcjc.org, and that basically has all the information on there that you would need.
Julia, thank you so much. We'll certainly be in touch. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in, but we're not done yet. We'll be right back.
Not everyone celebrates the birth of a baby. You have options. Don't panic. New Jersey has safe havens for unwanted infants. Leave the baby with staff at any hospital, ER, police or fire station, or rescue squad. Call the number on your screen for safe haven locations or go to www.njsafehaven.org. No shame, No blame, no names. Safe Haven.
This thing rips! Oh, it is so quick. There's a lot of punch packed into this Bronco Sport. It's got a ton of horsepower. I love it. All right, now we're getting hairy. Now we're getting the fun stuff. Yeah. I like how we can get over or around almost anything.
Yeah, I dig your ride. I super dig it. It's gonna be a good day.
Growing up can be tough on kids. So much is going on in the world that can cause depression or anxiety. Unusual behavior for more than 6 months could mean they need help. Don't wait. For real-time mental health support and counseling, call New Jersey's Children's System of Care. CSOC offers free mental health supports, substance use treatment, and services for intellectual or developmental disabilities for all kids up to age 21. Call now, 1-877-652-7624.
Introducing the all-new Ford Maverick. A truck for people who do stuff. And people who make stuff. People like Gabrielle Union.
I make this look good, don't I?
Who haul whatever they want to wherever they want. Like wood to build things made of wood with. And friends to get weird with. It's for long trips that the standard hybrid engine with a targeted EPA estimated city fuel economy rating of 40 miles per gallon helps with. That an 8-inch touchscreen connects with. And any trip that this interior makes more comfortable. But we'll let Gabrielle tell you all about it.
Or I could just tell them it's a Ford truck that starts at less than $20,000 MSRP.
Yep, that works too. The all-new Ford Maverick, built to defy expectations.
150 around front, please. We designed the F-150 to be tough. And we delivered on towing and payload like you'd expect. We also made it smart, starting with an available hybrid powertrain. This engine also allows you to use your truck as a high wattage generator. It's the kind of capability that a truck owner's really never had before.
Hudson County View live at Uncut, John Heinis. So let's talk a little Biosquare City business. So again, obviously the thing of the utmost concern for a Hoboken resident right now is this water main break. So this independent contractor was working on Madison and Observer yesterday, and unfortunately they broke a water main pretty significantly, and this break has led to quite a few changes here. I mean, we're still, first of all, there's been a state of emergency since late yesterday afternoon that was issued by the Hoboken Office of Emergency Management. And we saw municipal buildings and recreation activities yesterday canceled. Now today, the municipal buildings and the schools are closed as well. And actually, they even canceled street sweeping. And if you know a little bit about Hoboken, you know that that's something that happens maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So if that's going on, you know, this is a pretty significant event. So they sent out a very verbose Nixle alert at 6:13 a.m. And they explained why that this may be causing some problems in downtown Jersey City and Weehawken. So this excerpt says, overnight, Veolia, that's of course the water service provider, transitioned the city from the Jersey City water feed to the Weehawken feed. While a larger number of residences have access to water, those living in buildings on higher floors may continue to have low to no water pressure, which in most cases means no water. Veolia remains on site as attempting to isolate the broken main while not cutting water to the entire city. They are getting closer to identifying the exact location of the break, but because of the complexity of the water main infrastructure at that location and the interconnectivity with Jersey City, they have been unable to isolate the broken main. So look, obviously they got their work cut out for them. This is a significantly damaged pipe. They're saying the break's about 16 inches. And obviously we had freezing temperatures and some snow and some freezing rain overnight. So this, you know, just is a calamity of errors, unfortunately, with a little bit of bad luck mixed in too. So there's still no boil water advisory, the one bit of good luck at the moment. And there are 7 locations available for residents to access water. So note that if you are going to go pick up some water, fill up a jug or whatever, you're going to have to bring your own container. So those 7 locations are the Hoboken University Medical Center, 220 Adams Street, 221 Jackson Street, Fox Hills, 4th and Harrison Streets, Columbia Towers, and Church Towers. And all those addresses are on our website. And, of course, a quick Google search away if you're so inclined. And Veolia tweeted at 7:46 a.m., and they said the initial rupture on Observer and Madison created a massive hole, making it difficult to isolate the main. Crews have worked all night to install a line stop, which will stop flow of water to the break and facilitate repairs. So at those locations I just mentioned, they have those water buffaloes, which are those really large blue containers that look kind of like the Gatorade containers, except larger. And, they're available for anyone that's going to show up with a container, and they'll be made available throughout the day. There's also a location that they mentioned last night was also at Hoboken Fire Department. So obviously going to keep you updated through the day and beyond. Hopefully they can resolve everything, knock on wood, by the end of the day. But regardless, we're going to keep you up to speed on what's happening there. Obviously, this is a situation that everyone wants to see remedied as quickly and safely as possible. So with that, let's get into a little bit old-fashioned Hoboken politics. So we're talking about the 5th Ward, and we're talking about Liz Urteco, and she's the founder of Hoboken for Responsible Cannabis, Inc., and she announced yesterday she's running against Councilman Phil Cohen. Now, you might know that this group, Hoboken for Responsible Cannabis, Inc., is suing the planning board, and they're challenging that decision for the Blue Violets. Specifically, they're challenging the proximity to 2 schools and also the date of application that was submitted to that planning board. So obviously, the cannabis dispensary rollout in Hoboken's been anything but smooth. And, she has come out in recent months and said that she wants this done the right way, the smart way, the safe way, etc. And, she's parlayed that into a run for office here. So her announcement said in part, "I am excited to announce that I am running to be elected as Hoboken's 5th Ward Councilwoman in November. Many of my 5th Ward neighbors have approached me desperate for new leadership who will listen and better address their concerns about issues such as increased development, pedestrian safety, the need to invest in our schools, and rising taxes. It's been with their overwhelming support that I have decided to run for City Council." So she is just the second independent to come out of this. Of course, we're very early. I mean, we're about 9 months out, and those nonpartisan races are until November, as I just mentioned. But the first one was Paul Presenzano, who you remember was on this program in October. He'll be challenging First Ward Councilman Mike DeFusco. And now we have Liz Urteco coming out as the second one. Cohen announced his re-election in December, and he did his campaign kickoff with the mayor in tow. No surprise, he ran on Mayor Ravi Bala's ticket in 2019, and he was the only one to pull out the victory. He succeeded 5th Ward Councilman at the time, Peter Cunningham, who has already come out and endorsed the challenger. So if you're curious what he said, Cunningham's words were, "Liz is a dedicated community leader who is a trusted neighbor. She will bring a much-needed common-sense approach to all legislative matters for the diverse needs of the 5th Ward. As already proven, Liz will ask the right questions in order to get the best solutions. She will work hard and be a strong voice for the 5th Ward in City Hall." So this certainly looks like a race to watch. Not sure where it's going to go, but I think we're going to have a slugfest here. I mean, I think this is going to be probably one of the top races in this fall 2023 cycle. With that, we're going to take our last commercial break. We'll be right back.
Jersey City Ford, certified parts and service located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View live on Uncut. Chad Heinis. So one out of the Peninsula City. So this is a fairly significant one, I think. So we have a lawsuit settlement here, actually two settlements, but for the same person. That's Stacy Purcella, a former City Hall employee. One was a case that was filed in June 2014, another in January 2018. The latter was this quote-unquote sexting case that got a whole heck of a lot of media attention. Pretty much every news channel picked up on this thing after Hudson County View broke the story. And, it looks like this was settled about a month ago, January 24th, according to a copy of the settlement agreements that I obtained through an Open Public Records Act request. And it's $225,000 each. And it's paid by the city's JIF fund, which means Joint Insurance Fund. The plaintiff has agreed not to appeal the challenge of the outcome, and the city, of course, admits to no wrongdoing or guilt, all standard procedure in these kind of settlements. Now, the first case that I briefly touched on named the city, Joe Wax, and Richard Sensulo as defendants, and this was actually a federal case filed in U.S. District Court. And Stacy Purcella, who was a deputy registrar for the Bayonne Health Department, who worked for the city for 15 years, alleged that one of her prior bosses and colleagues subjected her to a hostile work environment and sexual harassment. Specifically, she said that Sensulo, who was a former colleague, had used sexually suggestive language, and Joe Wax, her former boss, habitually used profane language and posted a sexually suggestive and misogynistic kitchen magnet near her workplace. That's according to the lawsuit. Now, that was actually dismissed at one point, and the appeals court, specifically the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, but she ended up appealing, and that's why this matter was still pending by the time that they got to the negotiating table here. Now, the case that is, like I said, much more known was basically, everyone talked about the sexting, but actually the takeaway that I had from the lawsuit was that she claimed that Mayor Jimmy Davis offered to help settle her aforementioned case for $150,000 in exchange for a sexual relationship. She also sat down with me at one point in May 2017 and showed me her phone, and there were sexually suggestive text messages that said things like, "I would eat you alive," with 4 exclamation points. So this was a case that, as I said, lingered for a while. It was dismissed in late October 2019, and then it was reinstated by the appellate court in May 2021. And subsequently, we saw that the judge wanted to see city officials deposed in this case, but that never ended up coming to fruition. And no comment from her lawyer, which was Vincent Gerbino, or the city. Now, also, just on a quick, I guess we'll call it a programming note, 1888 Studios, that $925 million project, that is going to be heard at a special meeting on Wednesday. That's tomorrow, 7 p.m. at City Hall, 630 Avenue C in Bayonne. So quick note there. An unusual one, going to North Hudson, out of Guttenberg, where a community affairs van crashed into a residential building. According to Mayor Wayne Zitt, the driver, who was in his late 50s or early 60s, was transporting a few seniors and hit the gas instead of the brakes. The matter is under investigation. Finally, a story that got no shortage of ink this past week was Jersey City officials paying a visit to Paris. This was February 18th to the 21st for most, though for Mayor Fulop, it was from the Saturday to the Monday on President's Day weekend. And according to city spokeswoman Kimberly Wallace-Gassion, Paris and Jersey City officials and experts covered important decision-making topics ranging from the schematic design of the Pathside building to the featured collections and acquisitions of masterpieces for the Jersey City location. Of course, that's going to be in Journal Square. And, You know, at the moment, we have the itinerary, so we basically know what they did from the time they landed to the time they went home. However, we do not know who paid for the project. We have just been assured many times that it was at no expense to the Jersey City taxpayer. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a week. We'll see you next time.